student. Today I am going to take topic diagnosis of pregnancy, and it is third year topic from OPS diagnosis of pregnancy. Okay, so when the female is pregnant, how we have to diagnose the female, that today we will see. Diagnosis will be done in first trimester, second trimester and third trimester. Okay, so in 3 trimester we have to diagnose the pregnancy. So first of all, the reproductive period of woman begins at menarche. The reproductive period when it starts as the menses occur, that is menarche, and when it ends, that is menopause. Okay, so usually extending from 35 to 45 years. Okay, means it starts from 13 years and ends till the 45 years. Okay, so while biological variations may occur in different geographical area, pregnancy is rare below 12 years. Means it is very rare seen that pregnancy occurs below the 12 years. Why? Because approx age for menarche we see that is 12 years of age. Okay, so it's very rare below that, and beyond 50 years. In some rare cases only we can see below 12 years and after 50 years that females are pregnant. Okay, but in Lima, Peru was the youngest one, delivered by cesarean section when she was only 5 years and 7 months. A female named Peru, she was 5 years and 7 months old, and she was delivered in that year. Okay, and the oldest one was at 57 years and 120 days old. Okay, so youngest was 5 years and oldest was 57. These are the exceptions who has been pregnant. Okay, so now we will see, this is the basic that usually you should keep in mind, that in menarche, that is starting of your menses, a female reproductive age start and it ends in the menopause. Okay, so 13 to 45 is the common period of having the pregnancy. Okay, now we will see the duration of pregnancy, how the duration of pregnancy is calculated. Okay, so duration of pregnancy as traditional will calculated by clinical as term as 10 lunar month. It is said that pregnancy is continued till 10 lunar month, 9 calendar month and 7 days and 280 days or 40 weeks. Okay, so this is the basic definition how we calculate the pregnancy, that is 10 lunar month, 9 calendar and 7 month, 280 days or 40 weeks. So if you have to say the pregnant female is pregnant, so how many days she is pregnant? 280 days she is pregnant. Okay, in weeks, so 40 weeks, and in a month 9 months and 7 days is a normal duration for the pregnancy. Okay, so as we say that ovulation occurs at 14 days, right? Normal pregnancy, menses occurs 28 to 30 days. Okay, between 28 to 30 days normal period occurs. Okay, and in 28 days or 30 days, on 14th day approximately ovulation takes place. Okay, so ovulation takes place at 14 days. So from this 280 days we have to minus the 14 days. So how much it will be? 266. This is the ovulatory age, ovulatory or ovulation age of that fetus. Okay, or that product. Okay, so if we say 10 lunar month, 9 calendar month and 7 days, 280 days or 40 weeks, this is what? This is the gestation age. Okay, gestation age. And when we minus 14 from 280 days, that is, we can say that is the ovulatory age. Okay, so exactly when ovulation occurred, from that we are calculating, that is the ovulatory age. Okay, so it is clear what is gestation age when the pregnancy is of 10 lunar month, 9 calendar month and 28 days to 280 days and 40 weeks. That is the gestation age, and from 280 days we have to minus the 14 days, that is the ovulation period, right? So if we minus that, 266 is the ovulatory age. Okay. Now we will see how to diagnose pregnancy in first trimester. Okay, so first trimester means first 3 months is known as first trimester, that is 12 weeks. 1 month contain 4 weeks, right? So 4, 4, 4, like that 12 weeks is known as first trimester. So in first trimester, how we will diagnose the pregnancy? We have to diagnose pregnancy in 2 ways, that is subjective symptoms and objective symptoms. Subjective symptoms are the symptoms which the female experiences by her own. Okay, and objective symptoms means the signs which are seen in that female by others is known as objective symptoms. What we observe is the objective symptoms. Okay, so first we will see the subjective symptom. In subjective symptoms there is amenorrhea, morning sickness, sickness, frequency of micturition, breast discomfort and fatigue. These are the 5 symptoms which are subjective in the female. Okay, first of all, amenorrhea. When the female conceives, there is absence of menses. Okay, so first symptom will be amenorrhea. There will be absence of period completely till the 9 month in the female. Okay, this is termed as placental sign. This is termed as a placental sign. Okay, then morning sickness is usually appears soon follow the missed period and rarely last beyond the first trimester. Okay, so morning sickness is what? It is the uneasy sensation in which female feel like vomiting. Okay, so why that happens? Because of the increase in HCG hormone. Okay, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone increase. Because of that, morning sickness is felt. Okay, so first is amenorrhea, second one is morning sickness, that is uneasiness sensation, feeling like vomiting early in the morning, and that lasts only for this first trimester. Okay, third is frequency of micturition. Females will frequently, she will feel like going for the urination. Okay, why this happen? It quite troublesome symptom during 8 to 12 week of pregnancy. It is due to resting of the bulky uterus on the fundus of the bladder because exaggerate anteverted position of the uterus and congestion of the bladder mucosa, that is change in the maternal osmolar regularity. Okay, what happen as the uterus start growing, as the fetus start growing, that put pressures on the bladder. Okay, and because of that reason she feel frequent micturition. Okay, so this is the reason of frequent micturition. Then breast discomfort is the form of feeling of fullness and pricking sensation is evidented at earlier 6 to 8 weeks, specifically in the primigravida. So breast discomfort is seen in primigravida, means first time the lady, if she is getting pregnant, this symptom will be more seen in her. Okay, so and next one is a fatigue, is frequent symptom which can occur early in the pregnancy. Okay, so these are 5 subjective symptoms which occurs in the first trimester, that is early pregnancy, first 3 months of pregnancy. Okay, first is amenorrhea. There will be absence of menses because your progesterone level will continue growing, your HCG hormone will be up there, that will cause amenorrhea. Second one, morning sickness. Why morning sickness? Because it's usually occurs as soon as nausea, because of your HCG hormone, means human chorionic gonadotropin hormone increase, and because of that you feel nauseated. After that, frequency of micturition. Why frequency of micturition? Because your uterus, it start growing and which put pressure on the bladder and frequent micturition occurs. Okay, next one is a breast discomfort. This is seen mostly in the primigravida. Why? Because breast is getting prepared to feed the baby. So because of that, the more blood circulations will be there and pricking sensation can be seen in the breast. Okay, and fatigue, because all your muscles, all your blood vessels are growing towards your fetus. So there is a new formation of thing, so because of which the female feel fatigue. Okay, so this were the subjective symptoms in the first trimester. Now we will see the objective symptoms. Subjective symptoms which the female seen is clear for you. Now we will see the objective symptoms. What objective symptoms we can see in this female? So first objective symptoms we will see in the breast, then on abdomen and in the pelvic area. Okay, so objective symptoms are divided into 3: on the breast, symptoms on pelvic and per abdomen. Okay, so in these 3 headings we have to see. So first is the breast changes. Breast changes will be seen in the primigravida, means first time if female is conceiving, more symptoms are seen her. Okay, because second time she will be susceptible to that, or she will be having the experience. So first will be breast changes. What will be there? Available only in the primigravida. The breasts are enlarged and often contain milk for a year. The breast changes are the nipple and the areola become more pigmented, especially in a dark woman. Okay, so on the breast what we will see? Montgomery tubercle. Montgomery tubercle are the small tubercles which is seen on the areola of the female breast. Okay, so in the breast what sign? Montgomery tubercle. Okay, for 2 marks it comes for your exam. So write down, you can write down Montgomery tubercles are prominent, thick yellow secretion. Colostrum can be expressed as early as 12. Okay, so we can see the Montgomery tubercle, the areola part will be more blackened and this tubercle will be present there, and colostrum, that is the first milk, can be present in early 12 weeks. Okay, means early pregnancy it can be present. Per abdomen, probably in first week or first trimester of pregnancy, that is first 3 months, there will be no per abdomen sign will be seen. Okay, why? Because uterus remain a pelvic organ until 12 week. It also be just felt per abdomen as a suprapubic bulge. Okay, means only we can feel something protruding out from your pelvic on the suprapelvic bulge. Okay, so probably per abdomen sign is not seen. It is still a pelvic organ in the first trimester of pregnancy. Now most important is the pelvic changes. What pelvic changes we can see in the first trimester. Okay, so there are some signs given which you have to keep in your mind because it comes for 2 marks. So first one is Jack-Weimer's or Chadwick sign. Okay, Jack-Weimer or Chadwick sign. What is it? It is the dusky hue of the vestibule and anterior vaginal wall at about 8th week of pregnancy. The discoloration is due to the local vascular congestion. Okay, so first sign in pelvic area where we can see is your vagina. Okay, on your vagina what sign we can see is Chadwick sign or Jack-Weimer sign. Both are the same sign. In that what happened, your vagina lining becomes bluish in color. Why? Because more blood supply start there, and because of it, it becomes bluish in color, and that sign is known, and when it looks like bluish, it is known as Jack-Weimer or Chadwick sign. Okay. Then vaginal sign, apart from the bluish discoloration of anterior vaginal wall, the wall becomes softened. Copious non-irritating mucoid discharge start at 6th week, and there is increased pulsation and lateral fornix 8th week called as Osiander signs. Okay, so that vagina when it become bluish, that is known as Jack-Weimer or Chadwick sign. When that become bluish plus there is pulsation, there is mucus secretion which is non-irritating, and that part becomes soft. Okay, so that is known as Osiander sign. Okay, so this probably happen at 8th week, that is 1.5 month or 1 month around it happens. Okay, so that is known as Osiander sign. What? There is increased pulsation felt in the lateral fornix at 8th week is known as Osiander sign. Okay, when the bluish discoloration is there, that is Jack-Weimer or Chadwick sign, and when there is a pulsation along with the bluish discoloration at the 8th week it is known as Osiander sign. Okay, so this is the second sign, Osiander sign. Now we will see what sign is seen on the cervix. Okay, so we saw this is vagina. On vagina, Jack-Weimer or Chadwick sign, and if the pulsation is seen, that is known as Osiander sign. Okay, now what happened to this cervix region? Okay, on this cervix region, this cervix start becoming soft. Okay, this cervix, if you touch, you will feel the soft sensation there. Okay, cervix becomes soft as early as 6th week, and that is known as Goodall sign. That is the soft, so that is known as Goodall sign. Okay, a little earlier in multipara. In multipara it happens little earlier. Why? Because they have been pregnant for many times, so it becomes soft little earlier. But in primigravida it occurs in first or half month, means first to half months of pregnancy. Okay, so cervix becomes soft, that is known as Goodall sign. After that, the pregnant cervix feels like a lip of the mouth. How soft it becomes? Have you touched your lips? So that soft that cervix become. Okay, while in the non-pregnant state, that tip of the nose. Okay, so in non-pregnant state, if we touch this cervix, it will be like tip of our nose. Okay, how hard the tip of our nose, like that. But if female is pregnant in the first week of trimester, this cervix become very soft like a lip. Okay, very soft it become, and that is known as Goodall sign. Okay, on speculum examination, the bluish discoloration of the cervix is visible. It is due to the increased vascularity. So basically on your vagina and plus your cervix, all this part will become bluish. Why? Because blood supply has started increase in this part. Okay, so this is sign in the cervix region. Then uterus sign. Now we have to see what sign is seen in this uterus area. Okay, so the shape and consistency, the uterus is enlarged to the size of hen's egg at 6th week, and size of a cricket ball at 8th week, and a fetal head at 12th week. Okay, so probably 6th week, 8th week and 12th week. How it means first month, second month and third month, how the uterus shape will be seen. So in 6th week it will be like a hen, means egg of a hen. आप लोग egg खाते हो, उतना शेप का 6 वीक में रहता है. ओके, आफ्टर दैट हैव यू सीन द क्रिकेट बॉल? इन द 8th week of pregnancy the shape or size of the uterus become like a cricket ball. Okay, and in 12th week what it becomes? In the 12th week, globular or head of the fetal head by 12th week. The piriform shape of the non-pregnant uterus become globular. How the shape of the uterus is piriform, but after the pregnancy it become globular or round by 12th week. There may be asymmetrical enlargement of the uterus if there is a lateral implantation. Okay, and this is called as Piscaseck sign. Okay, if the unilateral or bilateral means if the uterus is not growing in proper symmetry, as in the lateral implantation, it don't grow properly in one symmetry, means it does not grow like a globus. Okay, so that time if it is not in the symmetry, if not growing in the symmetry, that is known as Picasso sign, where one half is more firm than the other half. As pregnancy advances, symmetrical is restored. The pregnant uterus feels soft and elastic. Okay, so this is clear. Your uterus in 6th week it becomes like hen of egg of hen, or 8th week it is like a cricket ball, and head of the fetus is on the 12th one. Okay, so first it is a piriform, after that it becomes global rounding shape, and if the pregnancy or if the fetus is not uterus is not growing in symmetry, it is known as Picasso sign. Okay, so Jack-Wemer sign. What is Jack-Wemer or Chadwick sign? When it becomes bluish in color, what? Vagina, that time is known as Jack-Wemer or Chadwick sign. When the pulsation is seen with a bluish discoloration, it is known as Osiander sign. If your cervix becomes soft like a lip, it is soft, that is known as Goodall sign. And in uterus is not growing in the symmetry, it is not growing properly in same proportion, then it is known as Picasso sign. Okay, so this is your 4 to 2 marks question which will come in the exam. After that, in uterus again you can see Hagar sign. Okay, Hegars, Hagar sign. It is present in 2/3 of cases. It can be demonstrated between 6 to 10 week. Okay, probably 6 to 10 week means 1.5 month. After that you can diagnose this sign. What happened? This sign is based on the fact that upper part of the body of the uterus is enlarged by growing fetus, lower part of the body is empty and extremely soft, and the cervix is conformably firm because of variation in consistency. So in Hagar sign, what we can see, upper part of the body of the uterus is growing, that is enlarging. Lower part will be soft, there will be nothing in it, and cervix will be firm. Okay, it will be hard. So this is Hagar sign which is seen in first trimester, that is probably 6 to 12 weeks. Okay, in 6 to 12. What is Hagar sign? Upper part of the body is hard. Okay, lower part is soft and cervix is firm. Okay, this is the Hagar sign. Then Palmer sign, regular and rhythmic uterine contraction can be elected during the bimanual examination as early as 4th week. Palmer in 1945 first described it, and it is valuable sign when elected. Okay, so Palmer signs, what is that? When you do the 2-finger test, that time you can feel the contraction and relaxation of the uterus. That is the Palmer sign. Why Palmer sign? Because Palmer was the person in 1949. He observed this sign, and because of that sign is named as Palmer sign. Okay, so this sign you can see per pelvic changes, in pelvic changes. Okay, so this was your objective symptoms. Is it clear? In breast, what we will see? Montgomery tubercle, that is Mersmann tubercle on the areola of your nipple. Okay, after that, per abdomen, there will be no sign in per abdomen, just suprapubic bulge can be seen as uterus grow very little in the first trimester. After that, sign which you can see in your pelvic region, you should start from your vagina, that is bluish discoloration, that is Jack-Wemer or Chadwick sign. If pulsation is present, that is Osiander sign. If your cervix become very soft, which it becomes in first trimester, that is known as Goodall sign. Then in the uterus you can see Hagar sign, where your upper part will be very hard, lower part will be soft, and cervix will be very firm. Okay, and then you have Palmer signs, where contraction and relaxation of uterus is felt when you do the bimanual 2-finger test. Okay, bimanual examination when you do, that time it is seen. Okay, so this was your objective signs. So Hagar sign we studied. How we have to do the Hagar sign? See here, can you see this? Hagar sign. In Hagar sign, you have to insert 2 fingers from your vagina. 2 fingers should be inserted, and per abdomen 2 fingers should be touched. Okay, so this internal 2 finger and external 2 fingers should meet together, and when you contract, that time the pelvis is or your uterus is felt very hard. Okay, and during relaxation it is felt very soft. So like this Hagar sign is demonstrated. Now we don't do this, but it is the way that how we should demonstrate this Hagar sign. Okay. Now we will see the immunological test for diagnosis of pregnancy. In first trimester we have to do the immunological test because it is the primary step where we can confirm the pregnancy. Now we get that Prega news, right? In that Prega news you have to put 3 drops of the urine, early morning urine, and you will get the result. Whether if 2 line is present you are pregnant, if 1 line is you are negative. Okay. So how that is done we have to see. So agglutination inhibition test. In that test, what will happen? Using latex, LAI, the material for this test are supplied in the kit containing all the reagent needed to test. Okay, so principle of agglutination, how it is done? 1 drop of urine is mixed with 1 drop of solution that contain HGC antibody. Okay, so that kit contain what? HGC antibody, that is human HCG antibody, that is human chorionic gonadotropin antibodies are present, and when you put your urine, that is antigen, right? So antigen antibody form reaction and the agglutination takes place, and you see the 2 line present there. Okay, so basically in that kit what will be there? HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin antibodies are present. Your urine is like antigen and it reaction happens and the test is positive. Okay, so that is agglutination inhibition test. Okay, next is direct agglutination test. The lattice particle coated with anti-HGC molecular antibodies are mixed with the urine. Direct, indirect, you don't have to preserve that. Directly you have to take the that anti-HGC and you mix with the urine and you will get this direct result. Okay. Enzyme linked immunosorbate assay, that is ELISA. It is based on one monoclonal antibody that binds the HGC urine and serum. A second antibody that is linked with the enzyme alkaline phosphate is used to sandwich the bond, that is HGC in the serum is seen. So this is also a kind of take ELISA test we say. And fluoroimmunoassay, that is highly precise sandwich assay. It uses a second antibody tagged with the fluorescent label. The fluorescent emittent is proportional to the amount of HGC. It can be detect HGC as low as 1 mlu per ml. Okay. So what test you have to do? First is immunoassay without radioisotopes. Okay. In first test you don't have to use any radioisotopes, and that is first one is agglutination inhibition test. Next one is direct agglutination test. Enzyme linked immunosorbate assay, fluoroimmunoassay. These are the immunological without radioisotopes. Okay. Second type is immunology with radioisotopes. That is you have to use the radiological material to have this test. Okay. So that is radioimmunoassay. And next one is immunoradiometric assay. Okay. So in this what happens that it can direct pregnancy as early as 6 to 8. Radioisotopes, if you use this particular, it helps to diagnose pregnancy in very early stage, like first week or second week till the 8 to 9 week, you can diagnose it very fast. Okay. So after ovulation day also, radioisotope assay gives highest sensitivity to 0.01 unit per ml in the serum. Okay. Then immunological assay, it takes 30 minutes to diagnose the pregnancy. Then selection of time, diagnosis of pregnancy by detecting HGC in maternal serum or urine can be made by 8 to 11 days after the conception. This test is not reliable after the 12th week. Okay, so probably after 12th week this radioisotopes test we can perform. In early pregnancy detection, this radioisotopes test helps us. Okay, then other uses of pregnancy test: to monitor the pregnancy following in vitro utilization and to embryo transfer to the, okay, basically this pregnancy test, why it is useful other than pregnancy? If we are doing test tube baby pregnancy or any other kind of pregnancy, that is in vitro fertilization, all that time this level help us to diagnose whether it is early pregnancy, is pregnancy going on properly. So for that reason this is very important. Okay, then what is the advantage? These are advantages over the biological method because of their speed, specificity and accuracy and less cost. Okay, these tests are very cheap, very accurate and very short duration. You will get the result. Okay, biological tests were based on the classical discovery of Eschim and Zondek in 1927. All these tests are two of the histological type. Okay, fine. So anyhow, if you are doing this immunology assay without radioisotope, it will help diagnose pregnancy as possible as in early week of pregnancy. If you are using the radioisotopes, that very early, like 8 to 9 weeks, you can diagnose the pregnancy, and that is useful for the tested baby, in vitro fertilization and all those things. Then other test which you can do is ultrasonography. Okay, so intradecidual gestation sac is identified as early as 29 to 35 days of gestation. Okay, so as the fertilization occurs, after that 29 to 30 days, means within a month, if you do the sonography, you can see the gestation sac. Okay, you can identify the gestation sac there. Okay, then fetal viability and gestation sac is determined by detection the following structure of the transvaginal ultrasonography. Okay, in early pregnancy, if you do per abdomen sonography, that is also indicated, but transvaginal sonography they do basically to see the proper structure over there. Okay, so in early pregnancy, transvaginal sonography is said. So in 29 to 35 days of gestation, fetal viability and gestation age is determined by the detection of the following structure, that is transvaginal ultrasonography, gestation sac and yolk sac by 5 menstrual week. Okay, in 5 menstrual week you can see the gestation sac, then fetal pole and cardiac ability by 6 week. In the 6th week you can see the cardiac activity of the fetus and fetal pole will be seen, and embryonic movement by 7th week. Then fetal gestation age is best determined by the measuring the CRL between 7 to 12 week. Okay, so Doppler effect of ultrasound can pick up the fetal heart rate reliably by the 10th week. So Doppler by Doppler means trans-abdomen, per abdomen if you do, you use the Doppler, right? So in that 10th week you can feel the fetal heartbeat, but in transvaginal in early 6 weeks you can detect it. Okay, the instrument is small, handy and cheap, and the gestation sac, that is 2, must be differentiated from the pseudo gestation sac. You have to differentiate and see. Okay, so in ultrasonography, transvaginal sonography is also done and per abdomen is also done. Both you helps to identify the fetal pole, gestation sac and fetal cardiac activity. Okay, probably heart will start beating in first 3 months. Okay, so you can see over there. So this was the diagnosis, first trimester diagnosis. How can you diagnose? That is subjective symptom, objective symptom. Then in objective symptom, per abdomen, on the breast and in your pelvic you can diagnose it, and later on you have to do some test and ultrasonography to diagnose this. Okay, so study it well for the 2 marks. Most of the questions will come from this topic.